Tonight's story is called The Reanimated One, written by yours truly, me, Kenny Brittain, with the assistance of AI. The flickering gas lamp cast long, dancing shadows across Dr. Boris Croft's workshop. He was working on his experiment that relies on various cadavers. Rain lashed against the windows with a raging storm of thunder and lightning. On the morgue slab laid his masterpiece, a grotesque figure stitched together from the limbs of cadavers, the head of a deformed human torso and the brain of an infamous serial killer named Francis Frankenstein. Croft poured his life's work into the creation, driven by a twisted ambition to defy death. Certain that he was finally outsmarting God, he had fused it with an essential spark of life, a grotesque parody of the vine born of stolen breath and blood-stained needles. But the creature, which he had christened Francis, was not the majestic beast of myth. It was a monstrous beast, a combination of flesh and bone, its skin pulled so taut over the mismatched frame of the black thread threatened to snap. Croft turned on the machine, pulled the lever, and harnessed the lightning from the storm. It is directed down two lightning rods and into Francis. Francis opened his eyes and started to laugh maniacally, then lurched forward, his limbs flailing wildly. Croft, terrified, stumbled back, tripping over a pile of bones. The creature lunged, his hands shaking in the air, missing Croft's head by a centimeter. Croft, cornered, screamed as Francis poured down on him, his rancid breath hot on Croft's face. But this time, there was no clumsy confusion. The creature stalked him with a sickening predatory precision, his eyes fixed on Croft, as if he recognized exactly who his creator was and hated him for it. The last thing Croft saw before the darkness consumed him were the creature's gleaming eyes filled with a cold-blooded stare. With a flicker of recognition sparked in those dead eyes, not the soft awakening of a soul. Francis takes Croft's head with his hands and began to squeeze his head and popped it like a bloody melon. The rain continued to lash against the window. Oblivious to the carnage within, Francis, now alone in the workshop, began to explore his newfound freedom. He stumbled over Croft's discarded tools. He didn't explore, he prowled. Every jerk of his mismatched limbs was staggering purposely towards the door. He sniffed the air, his nostrils twitching, trying to decipher the strange new world he had been thrust into. The static from the storm seemed to linger in his veins. He moved with a jolting, eager precision, his eyes darting toward the exit with the look of a man who had finally been given the perfect weapon, himself. The creature's attention was drawn to a small window high up on the wall. It strained against the bars, its natural strength, bending the iron. The iron didn't just bend, it shrieked under his grip. This wasn't a mindless show of force. Francis was dismantling his cage, bolt by rusted bolt, with a cold and terrifying purpose. With a final bone-jarring heaviness, the window shattered, showering the workshop with shards of glass. Francis, his grotesque form silhouetted against the stormy sky, stepped out into the night. The rain washed over its decaying flesh, washing away the last traces of Croft's blood. but the storm only fed the rising heat of his hunger. The low, triumphant growl escaped his throat, echoing through the deserted streets, but he held no joy. It was the sound of an engine starting up, fueled by singular focus and need to see the world bleed. The night belonged to Francis now, and he lurched down the cobbled street. A new era of terror began, a warning that had come too late as Francis faded into the fog. The city didn't yet know he was breathing the same air as a miracle and a massacre.